Okay, so I wound up in here in Loblaws quite by accident, and I just needed one thing, and look what I found. Almost $9 for chocolate chips. Whoever's pricing this shit at Loblaws is a fucking sociopath. You are actually better off buying some chocolate bars on sale and crushing them up to make chips. That would be cheaper. So I'm going to the cash now. Good thing I brought some lube.
You know, in crazy times when going to the checkout at a grocery store is like going to a DD party.
Before I go on this rant, I just want to be very clear that I'm super grateful for my life, because I know that this is going to get on the wrong side of TikTok probably. I'm super grateful for my life, and I know that a lot of us are in a better place compared to so many people that are suffering in the world right now.
Once you hear this track, you know that it's going to be a heavy one.
But doesn't mean that as a Canadian citizen, I don't have a right to speak on how we live. Let me start off by saying, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but home insurance and car insurance has gone up because of how many break-ins there's been and how many cars have been stolen. And these people are obviously targeting more successful areas because they feel like those people have much less to lose than them going to an area where people have less, no Rolexes, no purses, not expensive cars that they can get for money. Like, they're not going to go and steal a Honda, which is completely wrong. But obviously we knew that this was going to happen because they're completely trying to get rid of the middle class. If you guys have been following me for a long time,
who is they? I didn't know I was going to need my tinfoil hat for this one.
Taxes, but we get absolutely nothing out of it. People call the police. It takes them 11 minutes to pick up the phone. Then it takes them another 15 minutes to get to the place.
I know she started up the video saying that she's grateful for where she is. But yeah, like the police in the first world countries, they are like miles and miles and miles away from the police in third world countries. Like, I'm not going to bore you guys, but I do have a story of my encounter with the police back in Nigeria as a preteen.
By then, God knows what could happen to those people that are getting robbed. And then, you know, we look at our healthcare system, and I have to book an appointment with my doctor 3 weeks in advance. But what if I get sick a day before? Then I have to wait 3 weeks to see a doctor. When I moved from my pediatrician to my family physician when I was 18 years old, I've probably seen my doctor 4 times. I get treated at walk-ins that have short lines, and I go to emergency at the hospital. 2 years ago, I got really sick. No one knew what was wrong with me. I had chronic migraines. They wanted me to wait 3 months for an MRI. No one can figure out what was wrong with me. Then we have our housing market. The worst housing market. Nothing is affordable. High interest rates, high prices, no inventory. Landlords declining everyone because they only make 60 to 80 grand a year.
Like, I probably get downvoted for this one, but I can't blame any landlord, especially if they are in Ontario, Canada, right? Especially with the way the landlord-tenant board are. Like, if a tenant can stay somewhere not paying for up to 1 year, then for me, like, I wouldn't even advise anyone to be a landlord in Ontario, to be honest. So I can't blame any landlord in Ontario, especially. I need to really say in Ontario. I can't blame any landlord for being extra picky about who they let into their place, to be honest.
The quality of life in Canada has gone down so much in the last 6 years. Every person, every client, anyone that I'm speaking to is in shambles right now. I don't know about you guys, but everyone is worried. Everyone's trying to save for a rainy day. But the rainy day has been over a year.
No lies have been told on that one. Like, it's always raining. Like, it's been raining. It's been winter for a lot of Canadians. And I think many people, way more than you would actually think, have actually not even recovered from 2020 yet. I think a lot of people are still leaking their ones, especially small businesses that were not allowed to open. They're still leaking their ones from 2020. The people that were non-essential. Yeah, those ones.
All right. I think I'm going to start calling these ones another episode of Are We Okay Here? Like, seriously. So I'm standing in line at the grocery store. Go figure, right? Yeah, I don't want to tell you the prices. I'm not going to fucking get into that. But long story short, I'm in line, and I hear the cashier say that, oh, like, you know, like, if you want this bag, like, it's 35 cents. Well, really 40 cents because there's tax. And, like, shook our head and we're like, are you?
Must be new here, right? Like tax is like a way of life in Canada. I don't even mind paying the tax as long as we can see where the money is going to, right? In which I can argue that we can see where the money is going to. Like, I mean, like, we don't pay school fees for like our 4 kids, no tuition. I was talking to a buddy of mine in Dubai, and he was like, how he only pays 10% or maybe less of that, even in taxes in Dubai. And then I'm like, okay, but then how much is the tuition for children? One of his friends that is also in Dubai spends around 50K for his 2 kids in tuition a year. So yeah, go figure. I don't pay up to 50K a year in taxes in Canada. So, well, in income taxes, yeah.
There's tax on the fucking grocery bag too? So, like, we kind of just had a chuckle. We're like, okay, there's like, you get a grocery bag and there's even tax on a grocery bag.
You gotta keep that environment clean, am I right? Meanwhile, the job market, steady be job marketing.
If you're struggling with the job market right now, just know that I literally was offered a job, signed a legal contract, was told to quit my current job, was meted and greeted by the whole team, gotten coffee, so excited to have you next week. And then on my last day of my 2 weeks notice for the job that they told me to quit, I was told that the company did not have the funds to bring on a new person and they were rescinding my offer.
I'm sorry to hear that, girl. But that smile at the end is like super diabolical. She's like, I'm in danger.
I'm in danger.
But I think she might have a good case against that employer, especially if she quit her job because of these guys, right? But I'm no employment lawyer, so any of the employment lawyers, please feel free to educate us down in the comments section. But I think she does have I think she might have a case here.